bunched up around the campfire with our bellies full. We started telling yarns. We started talking bull. We talked fighting, drinking, horses, and of course romance. Everybody knows first liar don't stand a chance. Marion was the first to speak while pulling through the ash. We knew by the color in his voice he's gonna talk some cowboy trash. Marion cornered a sold-up heifer, but she stood her ground. He threw a loop around her horns. That's when she circled round. One hitch, two hitch, a half hitch, and a hooey. She hog-tied Marion to his horse and ran off through the tulies. He said she was a rangy calf. And when the slack pulled tight on that rawhide rope, she darn near cut him in half. Grinning that Marion grin, he gave each of us a glance. It was a pretty fair whopper, boys. First liar don't stand a chance. Harvey piped up next. He had a head full of curly cherubim hair. He was pure poetry in motion, a saddle bronc rider extraordinaire. He rode the rankest horses, he didn't care. His shafts a flying, his rowels marking hide. There weren't a horse he couldn't ride. He told us about a bad one to buck, rankest one he'd ever seen. He called for the gate in old St. George. They jumped a fence, off they went, disappearing forever it seems. A week later, Harvey called collect. The horse was broke to ride down in New Orleans. He added it was a hell of a ride. It was quite the dance. Everybody knows first liar don't stand a chance. Clint was a soft-spoken man, all around cowboy, all around top hand. He was taking part in a lion study, so off he went with a fish and game buddy. They treated a male lion that needed to be tagged. Nothing to it, this cougar was in the bag. Clint climbed up with a tranquilizer gun, but it slipped from his hand, hit the ground, went off hitting him in the bum. He soon crashed to the ground, slept right through it, never heard a sound. Slept like a baby, peaceful and carefree, while that cougar snarled and hissed 30 feet up in the tree. Yes, sirree, Bob, it was a lucky glance. Everybody knows first liar don't stand a chance. I was the last to go. All eyes on me. I had to think of something quick, something they'd believe. I told them about my sweet, sweet wife. Stubborn as a goat, has to sleep with one eye open so she don't cut her own throat. She only weighs 100 pounds when she's sopping wet, but she don't take guff from anyone once her mind's been set. I told him that in 30 years of marital delight, I've never lost an argument with her. I never lost a fight. They stared at me in disbelief, their faces white as ash. They looked at me in total shock. They'd never heard such cowboy trash. Marion stared at me and said, "I know your wife, you're lying through your teeth." Clint was in a deer-in-the-headlight trance. Harvey said it low and resolute, "First liar don't stand a chance." It should be noted that the verse about Clint in the tree with the lion shooting himself with a tranquilizer dart, that's actually true, and that story actually was featured on Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story. All three of those cowboy partners of mine have passed on now. One by complications to a catastrophic injury, one by cancer, he was a downwinder, and once died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I miss all of them, but I'm looking forward to that day when we all bunch up again and saddle up our ponies and ride through them canyons of southern Utah.